This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Laugh Cry Club. I'm Joy.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Chelsea, and if you're a human who laughs and cries just like us and you want a little helpful tip and trick to navigate through this humanness of life, we are 3 licensed clinicians here to support. So welcome to the club.
We're so glad you're here. We're doing life. Life is lifing. Thank you so much for your support. We see those numbers climbing. What we would love from you is to submit a rating and a review and share it with a friend. That really helps us grow the show. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're really more active on Instagram, but we're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We'll get there at Laugh Cry Club. You can also email us, laughcryclub@gmail.com. We love to hear your questions, your ideas, anything that you want to talk about. We're 3 licensed therapists here to support and normalize the human experience. We start every week with our laughs and our cries, and then we will go into a topic of the week. This week, we're talking about people who've influenced our path, which I just love. And then we'll talk about next week's topic. So, Chelsea, who's going first?
Well, this week, I am going to nominate somebody who has been a big, huge, giant crybaby, and that is myself. I have been having lots of cries, and really what started it, I would say, is this topic of the week. I'm going to probably tear up now. I spent the week really thinking about the people in my life who have helped me along the way, and there are countless individuals. When I say I've won the lottery with humans, I don't know how life could be any better with the humans I have. Like, I just don't. I want for nothing with the humans in my life, and I feel undeserving, so abundant that I have so many individuals I can rely on. And so it really hit me, this kind of cry moment, when last weekend, Charlie had volleyball tournament. Miles is going to be driving pretty soon. So Miles, I gave him my town car, and Miles is driving me in the town car, and her volleyball's in like a little kind of rural area. And we go to dinner, and I'm watching him at dinner, and he orders wings, and he has wings all over his face, and he's silent while he's enjoying his wings. Like, this is a silent, and I'm imagining if I was a woman on a date with him with his wings all over his face, and then there's zero conversation. I would say for a good 10 minutes, because he's a slow eater, like one of those really where you're like, okay, can you, like, I could be done, and he can't talk and eat at the same time. He's one of those. And he looks at me and he's like, you want some of my wings? And I just looked at him and I just thought, and I was reflecting on love and gratitude and this topic for this week. And it just like hit me. And it was all I could do to not start crying at the dinner table with him, just feeling like this of and love. And like, yeah, guess what, kid? You shaped your mom too. You made me a way better person. I'm a way better person because of my kids. And so after we ate, then we decided to wash Betty because she was filthy, and he's just like spraying the car, and it's windy and all the water's spraying on him, and he looks over at me and he's like, I'm just getting soaked. And I'm like, you're so innocent and wonderful and amazing. And he's organizing like the center console for his stuff, and like, I don't know, y'all, I'm emotional. I have been crying. So I can't stop crying, but it's not sad. It's just like so my
full
heart.
Of love. It's just so full of love. You just can't help it. You're so grateful. Yeah.
I can't help it. And it's really like when you take the time to think, and I would challenge all of us to do this, think about the people who have made you and shaped you in your life. And then you can join the Crybaby Club with Chelsea for a week.
The Crybaby Club.
We have an offshoot called the Crybaby Club.
Oh my gosh.
Releasing that show next.
The Crybaby Club. And then my laugh is our sweet daughter just got a job at TCBY Ice Cream Shop. It is the cutest thing.
How cute is that?
It's so cute. And her reason for getting a job, this just makes me laugh so hard that I also cry, is she has this dream to take all of her girlfriends out to dinner at Texas Roadhouse and pay for them. Oh my God,
Okay.
I can't.
Okay, that's adorable.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I just can't make this up. It's too hilarious. It's too cute. It's too sweet. And I'm like, this is like her big dream. And it's just, I don't know. I just am obsessed. So that's my laughs and cries.
I have to go ahead and interject with a tip and trick. No, I have to interject by just saying again, and I've said this before, that your friendship circle is such a reflection of you and the bright, shiny light that you bring to the world. And you attract all those amazing people. And your children are a reflection of you and Steve. And clearly you've done a bang up job of raising two incredible humans. So you can pat yourself on the back too. But that's probably part of the overwhelming piece where you're kind of like, how did I deserve such amazing humans in your life? But it's because of your bright shininess.
I mean, maybe, or God was like, I'm really going to do a solid. I mean, sometimes I'm just like, I'm really, So I'm not going to analyze it. I'm just going to lean in and cry tears of gratitude and cry tears of all the things and feel lucky. And with that said, I also feel lucky to be with both of you. And I would like to have a lucky nominee to share their laugh and their cry of the week. I'm pretty sure Joy's drinking a Budweiser. Is that right?
It's a
What's
Zevia.
that? Oh.
Not
This
drinking
bud's
beer.
for you.
Not drinking beer at like the
I
afternoon.
mean, we've never drank beer on the Lab Cry Club, but you never know what can happen in this club. So,
we
and
always
we are
talked about
unconditional love. So we don't know. You could show up with a beer. I thought it was a Budweiser. That's what it looked like. But pass to Joy. Lucky, sweet,
I have
wonderful
to
Joy.
say that Joy is not a Budweiser type of gal.
I wish she was.
Or a Coors Light, even though it's made in Colorado. I don't know that
She's
a
an
beer
IPA.
drinker, but
You're an IPA drinker, maybe, if you were?
I
If
almost
I
want to
was, I
say,
would
like,
drink an IPA.
what about a Fat Tire?
I would drink a Fat Tire.
I could see you doing that.
I'm not. Anyway, I'm laughing
That's
because
another laugh, another story for another time.
But
I'm
your
laughing-
camera is a little blurry.
it does have a little bit of a filter on it, so that's probably what happened.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
the filter made the Zevia look like a Bud Light, and
Yeah.
if we show any
Bud
clips, you might think, or maybe is Bud Light blue?
It's a
Yeah,
blue.
it's kinda
It
like
can-
that.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Yeah,
It does
okay.
actually look. You're not.
I
wrong.
mean, hey,
And Chelsea spends a lot of time on the beach in the South, so she knows what
Yes.
Bud Light looks like.
I
knows one when she
100%
sees one,
love
yes.
a Bud Light Platinum.
What? I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
Never heard
it
of
has a
that.
higher alcohol content, and I like the way
3.5% rather than 3.2.
I don't know. I just like the whole thing. I like that it's blue and shiny. I
And
just
it's
like
platinum.
Yeah, and it says platinum, which kind of makes me feel like, platinum ring or something fun.
So bougie. Yeah, that's. So
I mean,
funny.
but
Remember-
it's still a Bud Light, Joy. It's
Yes.
definitely a Bud Light. I like
Yeah.
like really crappy, cheap, watered down beer. That's my thing.
No.
Or a sour beer because I like candy.
But remember when we at one point were going to drink twisted teas
Twisted
when all
tea.
that stuff was happening with my house? We're like, we should all just drink a twisted tea on the show. Anyway, maybe
Ooh, we
one
should
day
have happy hours sometime.
we really should.
Ooh, let's do.
Just
Okay.
get drunk therapists. We're gonna have drunk. You know
Let's
that show.
do it.
You know that show, Drunk,
Drunk
History?
History?
We should really just do a drunk therapist, like
Oh my God.
off the rails.
I don't know if I
I
can
don't
do it.
drink
That would
that
have to be a
much, so it
Patreon.
would
I know.
probably-
That would have to be.
I think if the audience wants to hear a drunk therapy hour
You're gonna
with
have to
us,
tell us,
they
yeah.
need to tell us.
Yes, because we might have to actually pivot that one into a Patreon episode after we record it. We'll have to decide after the fact.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay. Bringing the Bud
I
Light back
some,
in.
I have some really good laughs and cries this week. So my laugh is so freaking hilarious. And I'm going to post this on our social media when we drop this
Yeah, you are.
episode. So my husband and I shop. Well, let me preface this. I've said it before. My husband buys a lot of clothes for me. So we end up like buying a lot of the same things, just in like the male female version, right?
Twins.
So very much twins. So like we buy our t-shirts at the same place. He loves Outdoor Voices. So we have a lot of Outdoor Voices clothing. Like their shirts are like pretty basic t-shirts, but it's like a nice like athletic kind of material that you can work out in, or you can wear it as like a casual shirt. So we have very similar clothes like in the laundry. So the other day we like had a laundry pile, and he was like going to work out, and he put on one of my shirts, and it was like a crop top, and he walked out and he was like, should I wear it? And I laughed so hard because he's like, it fit him in the shoulders. I have very broad shoulders, and he's like, I thought it was my shirt because I'm putting it on because like it's so like baggy up top, but it was just like hitting him at midriff, and I about died laughing, crying. And he took a picture of himself in the mirror, and I was like, that would be so funny. So funny. Because he's always talking about like whenever he wears shorts, if he's like, are these too short? I'm like being too risque wearing these. It's just, we had a good laugh at that. So we laugh a lot. My husband makes me laugh almost every single day. My cry was more of kind of like Chelsea, where it must be like the moon and the stars aligning, because I had the same thing this week where we're getting a puppy in a couple weeks. So I was talking with my puppy raiser friend, Kim, who's also a dedicated listener. Hi, Kim. And we were talking about that, and how like just about a month or so ago, really a few months ago, I was in such a deep, dark depression with everything going on with the house stuff, realizing like my medication was off. That's a whole nother story. And where I was just feeling super, super down, super low. We were like kind of reminiscing about that time, because at that time I was like, I'm not ready for a puppy. I don't know if we could do this again. Like I just wasn't in a headspace. It felt very overwhelming to just even go there, which made me sad because puppy raising brings me a lot of joy. So it was like this weird mind screw, right? I was reflecting on the time. I was like thanking her and I was thinking about this, because when I was in that really dark place, I mean, it was bad. I was not doing well. I was like waking up every day, like, where am I? I'm feeling really disoriented, like really sad, really depressed, really blue. And I'll never forget, she, like, the same week we moved in, dropped off this like care package at my front door, didn't even knock on the door, just left it with like homemade bread, my favorite sodas, my favorite candies, a candle, just this really thoughtful care package. And in that moment, I was so down. I don't think it registered, but I look back and I was like, Kim, that moment literally saved me. Just for someone to do a kind gesture. And looking back at it now, I can fully appreciate how much that meant to me. And so I was reminiscing about that moment with her as we were talking about the whole puppy raising thing and how I wasn't feeling ready and I was just all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, and you were just like so there, and just, I'm just dropping this off for you. And never underestimate the power of like a random kind gesture that you don't even knock on their door. You want to say hi, but you want to like leave them alone and know that they have a lot going on. But like that kindness just like made me realize how far I've come, like from over the past 3 months of everything we've gone through, but B, how grateful I am to like have the people that I have in my life, and that it made me cry connecting all of that now we're getting a puppy and I'm like getting back into something that brings me so much joy, where I like didn't think I was going to do that again. Cause I was like, oh, it just feels so big. So yay for life bringing you good people.
That is so sweet and wonderful, and the sweetness of life. And I have a really annoying question to ask you. Here it is.
It's not annoying, but go ahead.
When you say it brings you joy and your name is Joy, does it ever feel weird?
Never. I never put that
together. That is a great question.
Is it? Because I'm like,
I've wanted to know this too.
You did? I mean, yeah. It just like Joy never hesitates when she says joy.
I hesitate though, because I'm like, oh, is that weird?
Yeah, and I use the word joy a lot, and I've never thought about it until I started doing this podcast and I talk to Joy.
No, I never put it together. And the only time that I think it was whenever I'm like referencing myself, it like in an email, and I use the word joy. Sometimes I'm like, do they think I'm trying to like do a pun on my name? But other than that, like when I'm talking,
it's such a good word, and it's such a good name. Like both of those are such. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good. Well,
So I'm passing the love over to Rebecca.
Oh, thanks. I could really use the love. It has been one heck of a week.
Well, I love you. So we're passing it over.
And I love you. And I see a heart balloon in the background.
Do. Yeah. It says Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Shit. I forgot it was Valentine. Okay, all right.
I gotta go.
Okay, let me get my head in this game.
Robin came home from my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law gave us all cards with a check in it for Valentine's Day. And then Robin brought me a balloon because she knows how much I love balloons.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I didn't know you love balloons.
It's kind of weird. Sometimes I feel like it's a waste, but I kind of like them and they're joyful. And then when they get lower, I try to let them last forever. And then I suck the helium out of them. And
yeah, of course you do.
Talk. Don't do that at home, kids. But for all you adults out there, it's lots of fun. Yeah, it's been a hard week. I have cried a lot. I'm not going to get into all of it because there's just so many layers. It's like a nasty onion. It's like a blooming onion from the Outback Steakhouse.
Some bean dip. I never got into the blooming onion.
Well, I think they used to taste better than they do now.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it's just been really bad. But I think, just a lot of stuff happening, heavy stuff in the world, heavy stuff kind of every section of my life. And sometimes that feels really overwhelming and you just have to cry. That's what I've been doing, crying it out. So I'm really sad, though, that I'm no longer able to use paper straws. I'm just going to say that. That's what my biggest cry is.
Are you really sad about that?
Yeah, I am.
I mean,
read between the lines.
I know. I was like, I'm just upset over the. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I'm pulling this.
She's pulling us back.
In.
My laugh has to do. I went out with some gym ladies last week or over the weekend. And it was fun because we only just see each other at the gym. So we actually had like street clothes on and had a meal. We had this 18-year-old waiter. He was waiting on us and his name is Max with 2 X's.
Hello, Max with 2 X's.
I know. And he had like the curly kind of moppy hair, young guy kid. He's 18 years old, but
super cute.
He was like the best waiter. And he was so attentive and we were laughing so much with him. And he started talking about how to make the best Frosties because he was like, they're too expensive at Wendy's right now. The extra large is too expensive. And so he likes to make it himself. We're like, what? You make those at home? Became a whole evening thing. And he came back and would tell us how to make them. He even looked online. He told us the recipe online, which is the best recipe for Wendy's Frosties. Gave us some tips and tricks about them. I mean, he was just so hilarious. I mean, here we all are probably late 30s up to like 50 years old. And this 18-year-old is thoroughly entertained by us, and we are entertained by him. It was just so fun. It was lots of fun.
I love that. They can really make your day. Remember Jose in Vegas? Like how much we loved Jose. Jose at the IHOP in Vegas was like the sweetest. I like wanted to put him in my pocket and take him home.
Yes.
I was like, you just made my day. I love that. I love when people do that. Oh, yay, Max.
Yeah. We actually ate at IHOP in Vegas. And McDonald's. Can you believe that, Chelsea?
That sounds terrible and terrible.
It was actually great.
It was really great. We were trying so hard to plan our meals because we had to work out at night. So we were like, what can we eat that's not going to upset our stomach? Well,
really? McDonald's and IHOP? That's what
not
ended up
together. Not together.
IHOP was pregame. IHOP was the morning. We needed carbs, so we had to have pancakes.
Carbs and some protein.
And then afterwards, we were so tired. The only thing on the route home was a McDonald's, and I was like, Rebecca, can we just grab a burger? And then because we both had early flights, and I was like, that's please. The only thing that is going to take less than 5 minutes to get.
She's like, can we get a Happy Meal? I'm like, Joy, anything that's going to bring you joy in this moment is going to bring me joy. So
I mean, the irony is I probably haven't eaten McDonald's in like 20 years, but I was just like, that was the only solution after that made sense.
It was just funny.
Sorry.
It was funny.
Athletic food endorsements going on here at the
Here's the funniest thing, and I know this is totally off topic, but actually every time we ordered, except for maybe once, we ordered the exact same thing off the menu. Yeah. It was really kind of weird.
You get strawberries on your pancakes at IHOP?
No.
Oh, that's what I would have got. Strawberries and whipped cream. I do love a fruity pancake.
That is nice, but we ordered like you get 2 pancakes, 2 eggs, and 2 pieces of bacon or sausage.
Oh,
But
I actually love that.
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, but we ordered the same thing. I'm like, I'll have what she's having.
Every time Rebecca would order, I'd be like, actually, I'll have the same thing.
It's like, Joy, could you order for the table, please?
Okay, sorry, we're going off track.
Okay.
Thank you, Max.
So Max with a double X, Rebecca will give us your recipe.
Yeah, you want it right now?
No, I want you to introduce the next topic. I want you to.
I thought you were... Well, I'll tell you right now. You just need Cool Whip, sweet condensed milk, and a gallon of chocolate milk.
Oh, my gosh.
That's how you make a Frosty.
Okay, well, now we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our topic, what we're actually here to talk about today is about those people in our life that have lifted us up and showed us kindness and helped us on our path forward to where we are today. And I think everybody can relate to this because we've all had those people. And we thought, it would be nice just, maybe shout them out and think about how they have helped us along the way. Get you all thinking about it too.
Thinking about this all week, I was just so grateful. But I think what strikes me the most is how much it is like seared in your brain, and that you have done this for people. No doubt you have done this for people where they look back and they're like, wow, Rebecca really did this for me. And it's a testament to, is it Maya Angelou? It's like people will not remember
what you said, but how you made them feel.
Yeah, how you made them feel.
That is so true.
And I always think about that. It's like they won't remember what you said, but they'll remember how they made you feel. And so, yeah. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to just do like round robin or talk about the highlights? Because I have like a little list, but what do you think?
I just have 2 who I'm going to shout out because my list is huge, but I wanted to talk about my 2 aunts. So one of them, my Aunt Linda, who I called Nani, is no longer with us. And my Aunt Judy. And these women were huge, powerful, loving women to me when I was growing up. They were big women. And they embraced having a female body with all the shapes and curves and all the things. And I mean, I felt like I could always be myself. I felt always like held and loved and comforted and safe. And my Aunt Linda would like pick me up and put me on her big lap and just like embrace me and love me. And so I thought about then what that looked like in the later years. And it was, I wanted to, sell cookies to the neighbors. So they were like, great, let's make cookies and sell them. Do you want to learn? Do you want to make some money? You can recycle stuff. So they gave me this entrepreneurial spirit. And just, it was like anything I said I wanted to do, they were like, of course, of course, of course. Fast forward to my career. My aunt was the one who believed in me with social services. So I started volunteering with Hope School with homeless kids. She invented a thing called My Sister's Closet for women in domestic violent relationships, where they could come and pick out lovely clothes because they were in domestic violent relationships. So they would live in a safe house or motel or things like that. They could go shop in My Sister's Closet where they could get nice clothing because they left all their stuff. Their children could get nice clothing and keep them in hiding. And then once a year, she would do for Christmas where could come in and get their hair done, their nails done. And it was all volunteers. They could shop new gifts for Christmas. And she connected with my heart for volunteering and for being of service and for seeing humans as humans and all of that. And then later on in my career along the way, always believed in me, always was like, oh yeah, you've got this, you can do this, you can do that. And just like that foundation up to adulthood. So I've had so many people, but I really want to just give that shout out from like a little kid along the way. It was,
they saw you
just beautiful.
And they believed in you.
Yes.
Is My Sister's Closet, I feel like is it national now? I feel like I've seen or heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It started in Orange, California. She started it, God, so I'm 47 almost, so 20 something years ago. So it could very well be.
So cool.
She was always of service, and she was the one who taught, like, what do you mean we don't see color? We celebrate color. Like when she would run preschool programs and after school programs, and like she just was always ahead of, I don't know, the humanistic curve. Like she's brave and wasn't afraid to like advocate. And my other aunt was just like all love. So those are my two shout outs of people who shaped me along the way. Love, believing in me, letting me have these wild ideas as a little girl and being like, of course you can do that. Of course. It was always like, of course you could do it no matter how outlandish it was. And I was a very shy, introverted kid, keep in mind. So to have somebody who was like, of course, and like, or for me to feel like I was going to get in trouble and it was like, you know, or to feel like, oh, my body's changing and I should be worried. Like all of those things, I think my aunts just played such a role and and all of those things. So
what a gift.
Yeah, those are my
aunties.
two. Yeah, Nani, my
Thank you,
sweet Nani's
aunties.
probably like a guardian angel now, and my Aunt Judy, who I adore so much. So I'm passing it over to y'all.
Okay, I'll go really quick. Looking at Rebecca, I'm like, I want to hear Rebecca's. I'm going to go in like a very quick order of people that gave me experiences, almost like they changed the trajectory of my life. So the overall arch was a lot of my elementary school teachers who saw me as a really hardworking kid in a school that was like really full of this one religion that I was not. So I felt like they saw me even though I was kind of like an outcast, and that I will never forget that, because they could have easily been like, I don't know, just pass that off. But I think they saw this little girl that was like trying to fit in. So that was something that I will always remember. And especially like that elementary school teacher I mentioned in one of the previous episodes, where like she would like write notes with me and make me feel really special. And like, that was just priceless. I was in first grade. You know what I mean? Like, and I still remember that. And then my junior high, I feel like I'm doing a speech and I'm like, I'll remember my coaches.
I love this. You have a card. Yes.
This is
So
like,
cute.
and it's making me think of like, now I have more things,
and
more
now
people
like,
I'm grateful for.
I might get the Emmys, and I'm like, I'd like to thank my coaches who, but it feels like my coaches in my junior high and then my high school, because I was in dance and cheer, they lifted me up and put me in leadership positions. They were like, you need to be a captain. So they put me in captain roles, and I was always emerging as a leader. And I never took that for granted. And I always looked at that like, wow, they believe in me. They see something in me. Cause it's like when people see something in you that you don't yet see for yourself, that is just so, so powerful. What a beautiful gift that then it gave me more confidence to move on and like feel like, oh, I can actually do this. You're building more confidence in yourself. And that is just at that age, especially, is just like, it's so amazing.
Joy, can I say something?
Yeah.
This reminds me of like that idea that like, little kids especially are so narcissistic, not like a narcissistic personality disorder, but like they're just
self-centered because that's their world. Yeah.
Well, and you have to be to stay alive pretty much, right? And then the world is your mirror. And when you have somebody who mirrors to you, like you have leadership qualities, grow that in you, right? Or like when I had an aunt who was like, that's probably why I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, is I had somebody who was like, your ideas are great and you can do this. But we need these good mirrors to show us what we cannot see, especially when we're little or when we're in adolescence and we're really vulnerable to like the pressures of other kids or what's trendy or what's not. Like we need to have these mirrors who are like, hey, I see this in you. And not only do I see it, but I'm going to give you something to reinforce it. You're going to be in charge. You're going to be a leader. I just want to call that out, Joy. I love that so much.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I think about it all the time, and I love that it still pops up for me. The other one was, I remember when I was going to college, I was going to go to community college, and my aunt was like, no, you're not. And nothing, no offense to community college, but she's like, go to a state school, go to Arizona State and just do all 4 years there. Why would you start at a community college? Like, you can do this. And I know it was because I was like trying to save money because we didn't have a lot of money. And she just encouraged me to do that. And it completely changed everything. Like, so many opportunities opened up for me because I did that. And I got scholarships and I got tuition paid for because it was an in-state school. And I applied to a bunch of scholarships when I was in high school, and which led me to a French teacher who encouraged me to go on a trip to France to immerse myself and learn French. The whole France thing, looking back, I can't believe I did that at 20. Lived in France for 3 months. So that was a super impressional experience. And then my boss that passed away, who encouraged me, I know I mentioned her before, that I had a dream, I had a vision of a project that I wanted to work on. This was like brand new when I was in my first job out of grad school. And she was like, yeah, do it, go for it. I believe in you. I think you should just start. And I was like, I don't know how to start. She's like, I don't care, you'll figure it out. Which led me to 8 years of a project working in production and local television that landed me 4 local Emmys and all these awards with these amazing kids that I just like never thought I would do. So these are the moments in your life where you're like, I continuously draw inspiration from those people, and I'm just super, super grateful. So shout out to all those people in my life. And I know Shelly is looking down and one of my guardian angels as well.
I love that. Thank you both for sharing. This is so nice. I keep thinking of even more people to add to my list. Wow. So I'm going to start with one person. I've got so many. It's so hard to pick that person. So when I went to grad school right after my undergraduate, and that graduate program was not my social work program. So I've been to grad school twice, but that was in 98, and I was 8 hours from like where my family lived. So it was a really big move, and I went to the student counseling center because I was super depressed, and I got a therapist there. I worked with her for basically the whole time I was there in Wichita. So that was a couple of years. I grew so much. She was a really great clinician. Helped me, just so much, That's just an age, like I was probably 22, 23, like you're just like kind of getting your shit together. And I remember the biggest thing was I thought my life was going to be over at the age of 30. And so like I'm like, oh, I got to do these things, because like when you're 30, like I thought, wow, like that's it, right? There's nothing else. And so I felt all this pressure. So graduated, said our goodbyes. She gave me this cute little kind of goodbye parting gift and went on my merry way and left the state. And needless to say, she was in the social work program at Wichita State. And then when I decided I was going to go back to school because I wanted to be a clinician and I was going the social work route. So I enrolled for my master's of social work at the University of Kansas. And lo and behold, guess who is now a professor there?
Oh my God, I love
my therapist.
That.
No
Yeah.
way.
And it never happened that I actually had a class with her, but she was in the department, and I sought her out and went to basically like, hey, look at me, I'm still here. I owe so much to you for getting me to this point. And she's just so gracious and wonderful. And we went to dinner a few times and just talked. Then during this master's program, I was actually turning 30, and I invited her to my birthday party, and she actually came and brought this lovely little book, this gift of like, she just had the kindest things in there. And like, basically, do you remember when you thought like you needed to do all these things and your life would essentially be over at 30, but look at you. It was like, I mean, like right now I'm like tearing up because it's like, it was so meaningful.
For someone to
like full circle moment.
Time in your life. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, there was a long period of time where I never spoke to her. I didn't even know, but like it was so meaningful. And I actually had the opportunity to say that to her at that point. And so, yeah, it was amazing.
So good. I love the idea of people seeing what we cannot see and then the witnessing of that journey. And I think that's why I love being a therapist so much, is because when I get to look and be like, oh my God, remember when this, and now we're here. And I think about, these helpers. Like I think about my first therapist, Dr. Steinberger, my first good therapist. Like I thought I was so royally fucked up. And he was like, I'm like, what are you diagnosing me with? What's wrong with me? And just like that love. And I wanted to send him, like, I always thought about sending him a postcard and being like, you like saved me. People don't know what you mean. Like every time somebody in therapy, again, we talk about this a lot, the corrective emotional experience that happens when you feel one way about yourself and somebody emotionally shows up for you and you heal this part of yourself that's so tender and so vulnerable. I think those are the people who I've had the greatest impact. The girlfriends I've gone to where I've had such shame and they've been like, you're fine. You made a mistake. You're okay. I think about this, anytime, like my husband once, Miles ran down the street and he was like 2 and he ran down the street. We lived in Long Beach. Like he could have gotten hit by a car and he was going so fast and he crossed the street by himself and I was chasing him and I was so ashamed and embarrassed to call my husband. I'm like, he's going to think I'm the worst mom in the whole entire world. And his response was, oh my God, Chelsea, that must have been so scary. Are you okay? Like corrective experiences where I went to like shame and all that. So, we think about these people in our lives who do these big things. And then I think about, like, Rebecca, what you're saying, like your therapist who was with you for all the little things that added up to this really big thing of Rebecca in her 30s. Like, oh my God, y'all.
Look at you now. Look at you now.
Oh, I could go on and on.
Yeah. And it's interesting because she taught in the social work program at Wichita State when I was there for criminal justice. I was doing a master's in CJ. So we shared like the same floor in that building. And then full circle, I'm in a social work program where she's teaching and it was so amazing. Yeah. So shout out to Sydney, amazing clinician, amazing human being.
Shout out to Sydney. I was thinking about this as you were talking of how bad I am I'm not bad, but like I forget sometimes like to reach out to these people and tell them. When Shelly, my boss that passed away, it's so sad because I hadn't been really in touch with her, and her husband reached out and said she was in hospice and she only had a few days to live. And I was like, are you kidding me? He goes, yeah, if you want to say something, send it to me. And I've been reading her emails at night when she's like lucid. And I just wrote like all of the things that she meant to me. And I was like so mad that I hadn't had a chance to like really sit down and tell her because it happened so quick. But I was also so grateful that he reached out, and I was like, okay. And I was like writing this long message, and it's a reminder. I know we can't live in that space all the time of like telling every single person how much they mean, but we can take those moments. So maybe the homework this week is for listeners to be like, reach out to this one person that like meant something to you, or a teacher. I see teachers on Facebook all the time, and I'm always like, I just love you. You were so helpful for me. And just take the time to reach out and tell someone that has impacted your life how much they meant to you and how much that impacted you.
I would say it's meaningful to them as well, because I've actually done that with a high school teacher I had, and I kind of keep entering her world, like maybe every like 7 years, it seems like somehow something comes up and I reconnect with her. But I probably did this about 7 years ago, where I actually met up with her in St. Louis and we went to lunch, and I just had the opportunity at the age I was, and to be able to say she was getting ready to retire, was retiring from teaching, that I got to say all the things that she did for me and how meaningful it was. And it was so amazing to be able to share that with somebody that you really do respect and you care about, and that they cared about you too.
Mm-hmm. And say the thing. I learned that the hard way when Nani, my Aunt Linda, who died, she had cancer. She didn't tell anybody that she was dying. And I wrote all this stuff for my Dad to share at her funeral, and I was devastated that I never told her. So after that, I made it an effort to tell people what they meant. I've written people letters, and they've been like, are you like okay? Like, why did you send this? Because, people are like, what is happening with you? I did a thing one year for my dad and my stepmom where I asked people, their friends on Facebook, for memories and printed them all out and cut them in pieces and put them in a jar. So every day for 365 days, they could pick it out. And again, like have that memory of what they mean to somebody. So say it while your humans are here. If you think of somebody, take the 5 minutes to send them a text, to send them a comment on Facebook, to just say, hey, I remember you made me feel this way and thank you. Or just share, because that's contagious. And we need the mirrors, y'all. We need people to mirror back. The world is hard. Things are hard. Life is hard. We always say this. No one's exempt from the suffering. So, say the thing. Get vulnerable. Have a crybaby club, Sash.
I would like to say
your friend Chelsea.
Thank you to our listeners. We love our listeners. We're so grateful for you
Yes.
that we're here.
Yes.
And I'm just I say this to you too all the time, but I'm so grateful that we have this space and that I have you two in my life. Who's going to pitch the next week's topic? Chelsea, maybe?
Sure. So next week, we're going to talk about the really important emotion called anger. Yeah, and why we need to have anger and what's a healthy way to express anger as opposed to an unhealthy way to express anger. How do we know we're releasing this in that way? And we're going to talk about some of the messages that we get about anger. It's going to be helpful to
really
folks.
Almost like when you go into one of those rooms and you like smash things. We're just
Rage room.
like a rage room. If you don't have a rage room accessible to you, we're going to try to work it out. We're going to figure it out.
I need that. I don't have a rage room, Joy.
I don't either.
No one does, but you can go and pay for it.
Yeah.
You can go to one and pay to smash things up. Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to smash on out of here with no rage, only tears,
Only
no
love.
Bud Light,
So many
nothing
hugs.
but love.
Love.
And if this is a place for you to land, to feel safe and show up, just feel free to always reach out. We love to hear from everybody, and we're so grateful. We're so grateful for each of you. So thank you for all your support and love and listening and sharing.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thanks,
We'll see you
everybody.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
That's life, baby.